get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show.
Thank you so much for your time. And I know it's been a while since we've met in person, so it's nice to catch up.
Yeah.
And find out what you're doing. Can I first get you to just introduce yourself and a little bit about what you do?
Yeah. So my name's Kelechi. I have a small company called Logical Solutions, and we focus on programming, commissioning, and a bit of consulting. And we focus on residential and commercial AV projects. Brilliant.
And so the last time I think I saw you was at the little mini ISE in London. I didn't bump into you at Barcelona. And you know, the company's doing well and growing, which is really good to hear. So that's a nice good news story in current climate.
Yeah, definitely.
So what I really wanted to speak to you about today was obviously it's October is Black History Month in the UK. In the US, it's in February, and it's something that we've adopted from America. It's I think it's been around in America for over 50 years now. They've been doing it. And what are your thoughts around it? How do you feel about Black History Month?
Yeah, Black History Month is interesting. I think it's good that since the 1980s, we've been sort of marking it here in the UK. And I think it's good to reflect on everything that's happened in terms of the plight of Black people in this country and all over the world, and discrimination and slavery and everything. And I guess it's not just about that. It's about, a lot of the time in Black History Month, we focus on the negatives, such as like discriminations and slavery, not about, for example, famous Black founders or inventors, for example. So I am a fan of Black History Month. I think it's good to celebrate, to reflect, to tell the stories of different people who have had, like, who have made a change in society and in history. So, but I find a lot of the time, Black History Month, there's a lot of people saying stuff, but then there's a lack of genuinity there. So it's a bit of a funny one.
So this year's strapline is action. I think it's action for change, action, not words, which sounds like what you're talking about. And I completely agree with you. I do see virtue signaling all over the place whenever there's an initiative like this, and not much substance. And it almost feels like organizations might say, right, October, it's coming as Black History, we need to do this, this and this, or we need to put, you know, have our Black employees on our website, or, you know, whatever, to raise. And that's all good and positive and fine. But imagine if you were actually championing them in May. You know, what, it doesn't have to be in this month.
Yeah.
And actually, when I was looking at our industry as a whole, and I was just glossing over LinkedIn and some of the magazines, and you know, there wasn't much. I don't know if you've seen any, maybe I'm missing it, but there's not much.
I haven't seen enough in comparison to other industries. In the AV industry, there hasn't been a lot sort of bringing and promoting Black History Month.
And I wonder if that's because there aren't many people of Black origin in the industry, that, you know, proportionally, they're just not there.
No.
And it's such a shame, because it's 2022. We should be, and I know we've had this conversation several times. I've talked about it with lots of different people about, you know, why is our industry so white and male dominated. And I've kind of come to the conclusion, until the white males actually sit down and reflect on why, that
Nothing's going to change.
isn't going to change. I can't make that happen. But there's also an element of, if I think of it on a wider scale, on a more global scale, it's 2022. Why do we still need a Black History Month? Why is Black history not everybody's history now?
Yeah.
You know, that I haven't. So I love the celebration of it. I'm for it. I think we still need it. I like the education element. I think every time round I learn a little bit more. And you're absolutely right. It doesn't need to focus on slavery and the historic, you know, the mistreatment, the slave trade and all of those things. It doesn't need to, it does need to, we do need to remember it. We need to remember it so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But we do need to, it can be more of a celebration. I think it is moving that way on a wider scale, on a national scale. I think it is more of a celebration. You know, if you switch on the telly, there'll be more programs. There's more, you know, showing, and even in literature. And I've seen some things online about certain changes to the curriculum and texts being introduced by Black authors, and some people against that, some people for it. What do you think? What do you think, if you could take out some bits and say, right, we definitely should keep these, get rid of these, what would it look like to you?
So I think for me as a whole, Black History Month, for the longest time now, every year kind of feels the same sometimes. But I do agree with you. I do think things are getting better in the sense that things are changing. For example, you mentioned things in the curriculum. But to come back to your previous point about why does there need to be a Black History Month? Why can't it just be a whole year thing? Why can't it be in May? And I think maybe for a lot of big organizations, or for a lot of people who are trying to push the whole Black History Month thing, maybe they could be like, here's what we've done in the last 12 months in terms of promoting Black culture and celebrating Black history and Black culture. Here's what we've done in terms of our workforce to make sure we're not discriminating against Black people, not just, oh, every year, here's a story about a Black person within the organization. They get put up on the website for a bit, we might do a little press run, and then that's it. Whilst in your organization, there's a lot of people who still feel like they've been discriminated against. They still feel like people don't understand them or their culture. So I think that needs to change. And
completely agree.
Easier said than done. And I think we find every year in Black History Month, there's a lot of tokenism. There's a lot of people saying stuff, a lot of people and organizations putting stuff out there, but how much is really true and how much of it is really authentic?
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.